If you really want to know what happened, Inspector, ask Toby. Yes, Toby, who is only a ventriloquist dummy, but who knows more than you think. If you want to hang me, let him be a witness.
Out of this world. Columbia's parade of outstanding stories of those moments when reality turns to illusion, when fancy becomes fact, sharp, shocking fact. Tonight, a remarkable adventure from the successful English motion picture Dead of Night. A story which for the next half hour will take you out of this world.
Stop! Here now, Tompkins, here now. Enough of that noise. You're disturbing all the other prisoners.
God, tell me where's Toby? What have they done with my Toby?
So it's Toby again, is it? Now stop all that fuss about the dummy. I won't ever afford any more noise in that solitary confinement for you.
But I must see Toby. Oh, God, I'll pay you anything if you bring Toby to me.
You ventriloquist, queer one. All this fuss about a talking doll.
He's not a talking doll. Don't you understand? He's Toby. Where is he? What's happened to him?
How should I know? Probably safe enough. The inspector will take care of him.
Well, you tell the inspector to send Toby back to me. Back to me, do you hear? Tell him I want Toby and I want him right now.
Sure. Inspector Dodds will be happy to do anything you say.
You're an impertinent fellow.
Oh, yeah, you're a rough one, all right. You're just lucky I ain't in here for murder. Lucky that fella Leswell you shot is coming along all right.
Leswell? Whatever happens to him makes no difference to me. I wish he was dead. He tried to steal Toby from me.
No, ain't that a pretty thing to say? Ain't you a child?
I'm sorry I caused you any trouble. All I want is one favor. Please. Go to the inspector, go to somebody, go to anybody and tell them that I've got to see Toby. I've got to see Toby.
Tompkins, Inspector. He's raising a devil of a row down in the cells. Keeps yelling he wants his dummy brought back to him.
I see. Well, if letting Tompkins have the dummy will keep him quiet, perhaps we can arrange it.
Oh, good heavens, sir. Is that him there, in the chair?
Huh? Oh, yes, that's Toby.
How true. Sits up in the chair real lifelike, don't he, Inspector? Amazing, ain't it?
It's fantastic that a man could be attached to such a thing.
Queer how Tompkins keeps saying, if you want to know why he shot Laswell, ask the dummy. He's an odd one, all right. Imagine asking anything from the likes of this. Such a blank, idiotic little face he's got. Yeah. So you're Toby, are you? So it's you that's responsible for all the trouble I'm having with your master today. Poor Mr. Tompkins. If I wasn't a mild man, I'd change that smelly smirk on your face. I'd give you a real sad look, I would. With
All right, now hold on there. Do you think that stick of wood will answer you?
Eh? Oh.
You know very well only a ventriloquist can make a dummy talk.
Well, sorry, sir. I guess I did look a bit foolish.
Yes, so before we all do, we'd better get to the bottom of this. God, bring Tompkins up here. Time we had a little talk. Tompkins, if I promise that Toby will soon be returned to you, will you cooperate with me?
Toby? Is he here? Is he near me here?
Yes, but you can't see him yet.
But I must see him, Inspector.
You will, but not before I have certain facts.
Certain facts?
About your quarrel with Nell Laswell. Now, if you tell me the whole story, I may be able to help you.
Help me? Why? Why should the police help me?
Because it's part of my job.
Yes, but you've done your job. I've admitted I shot Laswell. I did it. What else matters?
Your motive.
He tried to steal Toby from me. Isn't that motive enough?
Tompkins, I really can't understand you.
Understand? Of course you can't understand. I wouldn't expect you to. You've never spent years, endless years, playing shoddy, cheap music halls, starving out at the elbow because you couldn't find a partner who understood you. You never toiled day and night for weeks on end, creating somebody like Toby who could go to the big time with you. Oh, Toby can tell you what it's been like, all right.
Unfortunately, Tompkins, Toby has shown no inclination to speak to me as yet.
Toby would appreciate that, exactly. Yes, indeed he would. Okay. What have you done with him?
You'll see him soon enough, I promise you. But first, I want to know what makes you think Mel Laswell tried to steal Toby.
Oh, I was aware of Laszlo's intentions right from the start, Inspector. Even before I met him. I had a premonition that somebody might separate me from Toby. I couldn't stand that. I was much to him, yes. He to me.
I see, yes.
When I met Laszlo at the club that night, I realized almost at once that he might be the one to cause the trouble. I suppose you see, Laszlo, you know the sort he is. Regular troublemaker.
Yes, Tompkins, I've seen him. Now come to the point.
Well, as I intimated before, Toby and I have been playing all the better music halls for the last few years. Top billing, you know. And then we got our engagement at the Kit Kat, West End nightclub. That's about as high as Toby and I, or any act for that matter, can go. We were standing backstage, waiting for the dance act to finish their turn. It's only a standard act, not particularly hard for us to follow. And then Bigelow, the master of ceremonies, came along.
Glad to see you ready to go, Tompkins. You're on as soon as they finish the waltz.
We know our act, Mr. Bigelow.
Well, just so you know yours as well.
Not Toby.
Well, I don't want him to forget to take the chair out tonight.
I have the chair right here. Now, don't worry. It won't happen like it did last night.
And do us the favor of getting off the floor when you've introduced us. You messed up the whole first part of our act standing behind us.
Here, now, don't say that. After all, it was your opening night, and how was I to know your act?
You did it deliberately. You were trying to cut in on our laughs.
Now, look here. I don't have to take this kind of stuff. What?
Toby, that was not at all professional. Mr. Bigelow, I apologize, since Toby doesn't seem to have the grace to do it.
Very well, I accept it. Eh? Well, well, now, what do you think of that? Husband, you take me in, Tompkins. See if I don't get to thinking that dummy is a living thing.
Bigelow is a terrible ass, isn't he, Tompkins?
By Jove, it's remarkable. Tremendously real, you know, the illusion.
Oh, rock.
Oh, by the way, you'll want to be particularly good this evening. You have a rival out there.
Mm-hmm. Who?
Laswell. Mel Laswell, the American. The ventriloquist from the States.
Laswell?
Oh, don't tell me you haven't heard him on the wireless. Here, look. Have a look. He's at the front table over to the left.
Oh, yes. Yes, I see him.
And who's the gorgeous young lady?
His wife. He's awfully good. World's greatest ventriloquist, I've heard say.
I like her.
Don't you recognize precidency, Bigelow? He may be the best, and again, he may not be the best.
And you're pretty jealous, aren't you, Tompkins?
I'm nothing of the sort.
In fact, you feel more uncomfortable than ever tonight working in front of a real artist.
Now, see here, Toby.
But as usual, I'll carry you along.
You'll carry me. I'll have you know I carry this out.
Please, both of you.
Stay out of this, fat mouth.
Now, see here, joke's a joke, but when you used to... By George, you took me up the road again, Tompkins. I thought you and this wooden imp were rowing. As though he were human. Imagine me thinking he's actually human.
Stop clattering, rubber. Let's get out there and bring us on.
Yes, of course.
And don't forget the check.
Wait. Oh, here it is. Look, I'm going to introduce Laswell before I bring you off.
Must you?
That's right. Give the boy and girl a great big hand. The finest dance team in all the United Kingdom. And now, ladies and gentlemen, and visiting royalty, before I present to you our next little feature, I'd like to call on a distinguished variety artist who is here tonight. You've all heard him on the American wireless and seen him in the American cinema. Mel Laswell. I ask Mel Laswell to stand up and enjoy that well-known Kit Kat hospitality. I'm sure that beautiful woman he's with is a much happier burden on his knee than Mickey O'Toole, whom you've seen so many times. Stand up, Melvin Laswell. And now I want to bring on an act the like of which Mr. Laswell has never seen. Our own British ventriloquist, Eric Thompson, and his talking timber, Toby.
Well, good morning.
Hey, Tompkins, go easy on that morning stuff.
How come, Toby?
Well, that man over there looks like the truant officer.
Why, that shouldn't bother you, Toby. You've been a very good boy, haven't you?
Why, yes, but I'm out of school.
Out of school? Why?
Appendicitis.
Out of school because you have appendicitis?
No, not because I have it, but because I couldn't spell it.
Now, Toby, my lad, you better watch that appendix of yours. After all, people die of appendicitis, you know. And then you'd be a skeleton. I bet you don't even know what a skeleton is.
Get a good grip on your nose, darling. That guy's got the worst material in the British Isles.
No, what a
Please,
skeleton
now,
is.
act as though you're enjoying this. People are watching
Well,
you.
then, what is a skeleton?
A skeleton is a lot of bones with all the people scraped off.
You know, Toby, I saw a very strange thing the other day. Toby, are you listening to me? I said I saw a very strange thing the other day.
All right, you saw a very strange thing the other day.
I don't blame the dummy for being
Go on,
embarrassed.
my master.
Now, here, Toby, that's not the proper attitude for a bright lad like you. I said I saw a strange thing the other day. There were 12 men standing under one umbrella, and not one of them got wet.
And not one of them got wet. Now, I know the payoff to this gag, but I won't say. And Mr. Laswell knows too, don't you, Mr. Laswell?
What goes on here now?
Come now, Mr. Laswell, I know you do. You give the answer.
Toby, please.
Please, darling, this is embarrassing.
Well,
Say
Mr.
something.
Laswell,
If this guy keeps riding me, I will get him to
this
his back.
dummy says that he saw 12 men under one umbrella and not one of them got wet. Why not, Mr. Laswell?
Because it wasn't raining.
Correct, because it wasn't raining. Now, you see, Tompkins, everybody knows your joke. I'm humiliated, actually humiliated to be up here with a third-rate ventriloquist like you.
Well, if you don't like your material, why don't you try rewriting it?
Rewrite it. Did you ever hear of anybody going into St. Paul's and offering to rewrite the Bible?
Then just what do you propose to do about it?
I'd go to work for Mr. Laswell in a minute if he'd have me. Melbourne, may I work for you?
No, let's go.
Wait, Claudia.
May I, Mr. Laswell?
Well, I pay ep002 75 cents a week. He'll wind up in my fireplace if you'll work for 50.
I work for nothing. Just to have a beautiful woman beside you.
The length will quite.
I don't care. I mean it. Ladies and gentlemen, you think this is part of the act, but it isn't. I think that Mr. Laswell is the greatest ventriloquist in the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, please don't blame me for this. It's Laswell. He's speaking all this through Toby. He's trying to steal Toby away from me.
Mel, is that true? Do you have something to do with it?
Relax, honey. Get the rest of this routine.
I'm being quite sincere, Mr. Laswell. I'll work for you and you won't have to save me a time.
Mel, are you speaking through Toby?
Well, Mr. Laswell, will you take me on?
Watch him try to get out of this one, Claudia.
I'm thinking about it, Toby.
Oh, Mel.
Toby, either you behave yourself or I'll take you off the floor.
That's right. Just when I'm about to get a good job, call the MC back, tell him you want to run away and hide. Come on out, Bigelow. Tompkins needs your help.
All right. Just as you say, Tompkins. That's all, and thank you for this little impromptu surprise.
Oh, brother, it's about time the MC
It's
took over.
all part of the show, friends. All part of the show.
Oh, hey, Bigelow.
I give him a nice heading. Give him the best of
That's how I knew, Inspector, that Laswell had taken more than casual notice of Toby. Oh, I could have forgiven him for his interference on the floor of the club. That might have been mere professional discourtesy. But there was something else in Laswell's attitude that made me fear the man. It was his personal interest in Toby. Now, he wanted to separate us. I became certain of this later when he came back to my dressing room pretending friendliness.
Anyone in there?
Who is it?
No, right, well, Tompkins.
Mr. Laswell. Well,
Oh, how do you do? You mind if we come in for a moment?
all right. Please do.
This is my wife, Mr. Tompkins.
Mrs. Laswell.
Mr. Tompkins?
Won't you sit down? Throw those dressing gowns on the floor.
Thank you.
Well, so this is your boy.
Nice carving job.
I'm very handsome. Don't you think so, Mrs. Laswell?
Well, you certainly are, Toby.
Tompkins, I've been curious to know who made him for you.
Don't put your hands on him.
Oh, well,
I prefer that you left Toby alone.
Well, certainly you needn't worry. I'm quite handy with dummies myself. You certainly surprised me with that little act out front.
Your own part in it surprised me, Mr. Laswell.
Oh, believe me, Tompkins, I never
You didn't
intended
expect
to.
anything.
You'll see, Mr. Laswell, Tompkins' attitude requires some sympathy. He's quite aware he's not our equal.
Keep quiet, Toby.
Tompkins, how far does this gag go?
That depends on you, Mr. Laswell, and on just why you came to my dressing room.
Oh, only professional courtesy.
If you've come to make some sort of a bargain for Toby, I am not going to permit it.
Now, wait, Mr. Tompkins.
I will not have it.
Let's wait, Tompkins.
I will not permit it.
Whatever the Laswells have to say to me is my affair. You might even pretend you're a gentleman and make a great little exit.
Toby, if you're trying to make me look ridiculous...
I'm succeeding. Yes, I know. Now go on over behind the screen and get your makeup off.
Very well, Toby, but I warn you...
Beat it! Pay no attention to him, Mrs. Laswell. I don't.
Well, I don't understand.
This fellow's amazing.
Not at all. He's stupid, really. Constantly interfering in my affairs. Mrs. Laswell, now that we're alone, may I tell you something? Something I'm sure you've heard before.
What is it, Toby?
That you're very beautiful. That I'm very fond of you, Mrs. Laswell.
Oh, now, look here.
And whatever Tompkins thinks, Mrs. Laswell, you're really a very nice woman.
Well, I'll be...
No, I don't like this.
Tompkins.
Yes?
Come out here.
Well, what is it?
How far do you want to carry a joke?
A joke?
Either you apologize to Mrs. Laswell right
Apologize?
now
For what?
for the last crack you just made through Toby.
Did I?
Listen, you...
Really, Mr. Laswell, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mel, darling, let's get out of here.
You're not going to leave me, are you, Mr. Laswell? Please don't.
You're an awfully funny fellow, Tompkins.
Don't blame me for all this.
Take me with you, Mr. Laswell. I just want to be near her. If you're afraid I'll make love to her, you needn't worry. I wouldn't.
Tompkins, this is the most disgraceful demonstration I've ever heard.
What can I do about him?
Mel, please, come on.
I love her. I'll do anything if you'll just let me go with you, Mr. Laswell. Anything.
All right, Tompkins, you asked for it.
Oh, no, Mel, don't hit him. Don't hit him. Oh, Mel, why did you do it? The man's not natural.
Yeah, now, what's going on?
I don't know what's eating that fellow. A rib's a rib, but he doesn't know where to stop. I guess he got the last laugh on me, making me lose my temper.
Well, he doesn't seem to be doing much laughing.
He's all right?
He's a bit done in. Can't say he didn't have it coming, though.
Oh, darling, I'm glad he didn't break the dummy when he fell.
And you do care what happens to me. I love you, Mrs. Laswell.
So you see, Inspector, I should have known then that I couldn't prevent Laswell getting Toby. I knew they'd be plotting the two of them.
I see. One question, Mr. Tompkins.
Yes.
Would you say that Mrs. Laswell is an exceptionally attractive woman?
To some men, perhaps.
And since we know that you think and speak through the dummy, isn't it just possible that you may yourself find Mrs. Laswell appealing?
Oh, what is this rubbish you're talking? Are you interested in learning the truth of what happened, or are you trying to muddle me up?
I'd like to hear the matter out, Mr. Tompkins.
As you well know, I was sacked by the Kit Kat on the spot. I hardly spoke to Toby all the way home. I wanted to impress upon him the misfortune he'd caused us. At first, I hoped that Toby's attentions to Mrs. Laswell had embarrassed them both so much that Laswells would no longer feel any interest in him. But in my heart, I knew the Laswells hadn't finished, but at that very moment, they must have been plotting. Plotting their next move to get Toby away from me. I'll tell you what that next move was. In our hotel, I carefully turned the key in the lock. Toby and I were secured for the night. I put him in his own little bed and then made ready for bed myself. As I moved around the room, his eyes followed me scornfully. Then I thought of the revolver in my bag. I took it up. With the revolver in my right hand and the key in my left, I lay down on the bed and waited. I dozed off. I don't know for how long.
Suddenly I was awake, my eyes staring. Toby was gone.
What is it?
Laswell, I want to talk to you.
Mel, be careful. It's Tompkins. The door is locked.
Where is Toby?
Get out, Tompkins.
Now come for Toby. Where is he? You've stolen Toby from me and I want him back.
I don't know what you're talking about, but if you're referring to your dummy, I haven't seen him. Now, get out. Oh,
Mel,
what's wrong, dear?
on the floor. On the floor at the foot of my bed.
Toby. Toby, there you are. I found you. Oh, my poor little Toby, you've been kidnapped.
Look, Tompkins, I don't know how your dummy got here.
Toby. Toby, speak to me. Wake up, Toby.
Look, Mel. Look how he's shaking that awful thing as though he's trying to waken me.
Oh, you're not deceiving me, Toby. You know very well I'm here.
Go away and leave me alone. I'm through with you, Tompkins.
Oh,
Yes, please.
Take it easy, Claudia. We've had all we can take of this, Tompkins.
are you going to deny you stole Toby from me?
I certainly am. Look here, man. You're mad. You're ill.
Ill, am I? You took Toby from me and you say I'm ill?
I didn't take Toby. You brought the dummy here. You must have brought it here. Well, maybe while you were walking in your sleep, but you brought it here. I'm going to prove it.
Stay away from the phone.
Mel, he has a gun.
You can shoot if you like, but I'm going to prove to you that... Hello. Hello, give me the desk clerk, please.
Tompkins, I won't go with you. I'm going to stay with her forever. If Mr. Laswell will let me.
Clerk, this is Mr. Laswell in 722. I want to know if someone came to my room a few hours ago.
Is this some sort of trick?
A man came, you say, and he was carrying a ventriloquist dummy. You let him come up. Did you hear that, Tompkins?
I'm not deceived by this.
Will you describe the man for me, please?
Oh, no, you're a devil, Laswell. You stole Toby from me, now you're trying to drive me mad.
Well, here, take the phone.
No, I won't take it. You're tricking me again.
No, be careful.
Well, you won't succeed this time. No, I don't deny that I shot Laswell, Inspector, but I believe the provocation was ample. I dare say you will agree. After all, Laswell turned a friend against me. An old and a very valued friend. Whom I miss very much.
Tompkins, in due time, I may ask you to sign a formal confession on the basis of the story you've just told me.
No objection. I'll sign it. Oh, by the way, Inspector, I wonder if now you might let me see Toby again.
Well, I'd like to oblige you,
But
but
it's only for a short while, sir. I felt rather badly about not seeing him, especially after our trouble. And if we were given a little time together, perhaps Toby and I could straighten out our affairs.
well, if you like, I think I can manage with. Perhaps have him brought down to your cell.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Yes. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing Toby again. I am indeed.
And that's the story as Tompkins told it to me, Mr. Laswell.
And it's incredible. I had some idea what was going on in the fellow's mind, but that is...
Mel, I'm so sorry for it.
Just one question, Mr. Laswell. You'll pardon my asking.
Yes?
Did you have anything to do with what's happened to the Kit Kat? I mean, you didn't project your voice through Toby.
Certainly not.
So I thought. This business has me baffled. If I thought Tompkins might be more dangerous than he's already proved.
Well, I'm afraid there is that possibility, Inspector.
Huh?
It may be that Tompkins has become so accustomed to thinking as two persons that the personalities have actually become divided.
Is that possible?
For one man to have two separate and distinct personalities? Yes, that's not rare. Well, I'll admit I've never heard of anything exactly like this business.
What will happen to him now?
It's a battle that Tompkins will have to fight out within himself. As long as he's in that cell without the dummy, he may learn to think for himself as himself again.
Good heavens, man. Look here, I permitted that dummy to be taken to the Tompkins in his cell.
You what?
Tompkins was so keen on having a dummy with him
Mel,
that
do you think that will harm him?
Well, I don't know, but...
Inspector,
All right, here I am.
It's that Tompkins, sir. Jerry knows something awful in this cell.
What's happened?
We put the big doll in with him, like you said, sir, and right off he began arguing with it, carrying on a fight, real lifelike. It's just like two people what hate each other.
Laswell, you were right. Come on, we'd better get to them before it's too late.
Well, all I can say is I knew you'd wind up this way sometime. Put away for keeps, a jailbird.
Oh, Toby, I can't stand having you talk to me that way. How can you be so ungrateful? I made you everything you are.
Ha! You made me, did you? You were the smallest of the small till I teamed with you.
Have you forgotten that once you were an empty, lifeless stick of wood?
Oh, come off it, Tompkins. You're a regular slush pot of sentimentality.
Please be a little kind to me.
Get away from me. I can't stand the beggar. Why should I have anything to do with you? You've never done anything right. You couldn't even kill Lazarus.
Shut up, Toby. Shut up. Don't torture me.
I wish you had killed him, and his wife would belong to me. I could be with her forever.
Oh, you fool. Don't you know that's impossible?
You're just saying that you're jealous because I love her.
Oh, no, I can't stand it. You're a monster. I've got to get rid of you. I've got to kill you, destroy you.
Tompkins, take your hands off me. I'm through with you. Take your hands off.
No. Kill you, you vulgar little swine. People, little swine. You dirty, bestial style. Now talk back to me, you little monster. Now tell me I failed at everything. I smashed your face.
You can't kill me, Tompkins. No matter how you try, you can't kill me.
Come on, Toby, what have I done? Toby, I never meant.
Down this way. There we are.
Nell, he smashed the dummy.
Steady, Claudia.
Oh, it isn't real. It can't be.
We didn't reach him in time.
He seems to have fainted.
I guess we'd better see what we can do for the poor devil.
Certainly made a pile of kindling out of his dummy, didn't he?
Oh, Mel, what'll it do to him when he sees what he's done to Toby?
How is he, Inspector?
He's coming around all right. Tompkins, come out of it, fellow. Everything's going to be all right.
He's reviving. He's opening his eyes.
Come on now, I'll help you sit up. There's a fellow. Feeling a little better now, aren't we?
It's dark. He's looking around for the dummy.
Here we are, Tompkins. I guess this is what you're looking for. Your tummy's broken up a bit, but he'll be all right.
He said he'd kill me, but I told him he couldn't. I killed him. Isn't that wonderful, Mrs. Lazarus? Tompkins is dead. Now we can be together forever, the three of us. You want me, don't you, Mrs. Laswell? You've got to want me because I think you're beautiful. And I love you, and I'll be your slave always and always.
For the past 30 minutes, CBS has presented Out of This World, bringing you Charles Gusman's adaptation of the motion picture Dead of Night. Barry Kroger was featured as Tompkins and Art Carney as Toby. Original music by Albert Berman. Out of This World is directed by John Mosman for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Time to escape. Escape. From now, from here, from yourself. Columbia invites you to voyage into the realms of the imagination. Each week we present adventures of men and women who escape into the misty land between the credible and the incredible. Tonight's story of escape tells of a dummy with a wooden head and wooden arms and even a wooden heart who served a master until one day this master heard him say,
I've had enough of you. I don't need you anymore.
Escape now into the strange adventure of Eric Hickson and his dummy, Toby. This is a story told backstage in many an English music hall and London cabaret when the performers are sitting around waiting to go on, or when they finish their evening show. Nobody ever knew very much about Eric Hickson, though many of the turns had played on bills with him. Mostly small-time acts, for it was only at the end of a long, difficult trail that Hickson reached the fashionable West End. It was the night after Hickson's opening at the Kit Kat Club. The act which preceded his was just finishing. But instead of taking his position in the wings, Hickson was still sitting in his dressing room. On his knee was his partner, Toby, a small wooden ventriloquist dummy with a painted face.
I say, Hickson, what's holding you up? You're on in a minute.
Are we?
Of course you are. We've got a splendid house out there, and I want to introduce you.
Wait, Bigelow.
Well?
We can't go on.
What?
We can't. It's quite impossible.
What nonsense is this? You hear the dances are going on.
It's
You follow
Toby,
them.
Bigelow. Toby. He refuses to talk.
Toby, your dummy?
Yes, I can't get a word out of him.
Hickson, what is this? A rib?
Certainly not.
Well, you're a ventriloquist, aren't you? At least you were last night.
Let the customers talk and hold hands.
Huh?
The stage is just as empty when we're on it.
Toby.
Hickson, what the devil are you up to?
Go on, Bigelow. Get out there and tell them we're not appearing.
So your dummy won't talk, won't he?
It's the very first time he's spoken all evening, I swear it.
Who'd want to say anything ever again after those reviews we got on our opening last night? He knows he's beyond his depth here, Bigelow. He's frightened.
Stop this gagging. Of all nights when you should want to be particularly good, with Mel Baxter in the house.
Mel Baxter, the American ventriloquist?
Yes, the star of the American Wireless.
And he married that gorgeous blonde in his last picture.
Yes, she's with him at the table out there. What kind of nonsense am I talking to this dummy?
Dummy yourself. Go on, big mouth. Get out there and introduce us. I want to see Mel Baxter.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, before I present to you our next feature turn, I'd like to call on a distinguished artist who's here tonight. You've all heard him on the American Wireless and seen him in the American cinema. Mel Baxter! Stand up, Mel. Stand up and enjoy that well-known Kit Kat hospitality.
Ah, you very, very nice people. Thank you. Thank you. Always nice to visit London.
And isn't that charming lady with you, Mrs. Baxter?
That's right. Stand up and take a bow, baby.
Hello, everybody.
Thank you, Mrs. Baxter. Oh, Mel, did you bring your little pal, Muggsy Martin, along on this trip?
No, I didn't. The little toothpick gets seasick.
Oh, what a pity.
Yeah, it is. He says every time he sees me, he gets seasick. Well, that gag's aged in the wood, but so's Muggsy.
Well, I'm sure Mrs. Baxter is a much pleasanter burden on your knee, Mel. Thanks ever so much, and have fun. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring on an act that should make our American visitor feel lonesome for the missing Muggsy Martin. Our own British ventriloquist, Eric Hickson, and his talking timber, Toby!
Well, good morning.
Hey, Hickson, go easy on that good morning stuff.
Why, Toby?
That man over there looks like the truant officer.
Oh, that shouldn't trouble you, Toby. You've been a very good boy, haven't you?
Oh, yes, but I'm not in school.
Do you mean to say you've left school?
Oh, yes, appendicitis, you know.
You left school because you have appendicitis?
I don't have it. can't spell it.
You know, Toby, I saw a very strange sight the other day.
Oh, dear. Must we go on?
Toby, I said I saw a very strange sight the other day.
All right, I'll go along with the gag. Talk about Muggsy Martin's jokes being aged in the wood.
Toby.
Let's get on with it. You saw a very strange sight the other day. What was it?
12 men standing under one umbrella, and not one of them got wet.
And why not?
It wasn't raining.
Did you hear that laugh, Hickson? They're forcing themselves to laugh. Do you blame them, Mr. Baxter?
Toby, leave Mr. Baxter out of this.
Leave me alone, Hickson. What about it, Mr. Baxter? Don't you feel sorry for me having to play along with Hickson's old jokes?
Well, now, Toby, I don't know. I have great respect for old jokes. Old jokes are not to be laughed at. In fact, one of my favorite jokes is the old one about the man whose name was Joe Hitler, and he wanted to change his name. So the judge asked him what he wanted to change it to, and he said George Hitler, because he was tired of people saying to him, "Hello, Joe, what do you know?"
Oh, dear me. Is that strange sound laughter, Hickson?
Yes. Thank you very much for your valuable contribution, Mr. Baxter.
Oh, not at all, Mr. Hickson. I was just standing here with 11 other guys waiting for you to borrow another umbrella.
I suppose all your gags are original, Mr. Baxter.
But of course, it's a gift.
And I've no doubt that you hang up your stockings for them every Christmas.
Sure, and I always get sock gags.
There, Hickson. You'll see what happens when you try to top a real comedian, and Mr. Baxter will go right on topping you for the rest of the night. Give up and get off, Hickson. Give up and get off.
Anyone in there?
Who is it?
No, Baxter, Hickson.
Mr. Baxter? Well?
How do you do? Mind if we come in for a minute?
All right. If you like.
This is my wife, honey, Mr. Hickson.
Mrs. Baxter.
Hello, Mr. Hickson.
Won't you sit down? Just throw that dressing gown on the floor.
Oh, thanks.
Well, so this is your boy, huh? Nice carving job.
I'm very handsome. Don't you think so, Mrs. Baxter?
You're a dream man, Toby.
Who made him for you?
Don't put your hands on him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Haven't you done enough damage tonight?
Oh, now look, Hickson, you asked for it out there.
I asked for nothing. It was Toby got me into that.
Toby? Oh, now, Toby, aren't you ashamed?
I asked you not to touch him.
Mr. Hickson, you don't think Mel would steal him, do you?
I can take no chances.
Well, you sure take him seriously, don't you? Well, relax. I do all right with Muggsy, my own dummy.
So I've heard.
Yes. And you sure surprised me with that little act out front.
Your own part in it surprised me.
My part? Well, you wanted some kind of comeback, didn't you?
You asked for it, Mr.
You needn't
Hickson.
explain anything.
You see, Mr. Baxter, Hickson's attitude requires a certain amount of sympathy. He's quite aware he's not our equal.
Oh, now look,
Keep quiet,
Hickson.
Toby. Mr. Baxter, just why did you come to my dressing room?
Well, professional courtesy.
If you've come here to make some sort of a bargain to buy Toby, it's no use. You can never have him.
Now, wait, Hickson.
Yes, wait, Hickson.
I won't have it, Toby. Never, never.
Whatever the Baxters have to say to me is my affair. Why don't you pretend you're a gentleman and make a graceful exit?
Oh, really? Toby, if you're trying to make me look ridiculous...
I'm succeeding. Yes, I know. Now go on over behind the screen and get your makeup off.
Very well. But I warn you.
Beat it. Pay no attention to him, Mrs. Baxter. I don't.
I don't understand.
This fellow's amazing.
No, not at all. He's stupid, really. Constantly interfering in my affairs. Mrs. Baxter, now that we're alone, may I tell you something? Something I'm sure you've heard before.
Well, what is it, Toby?
You're very beautiful. I'm very fond of you, Mrs. Baxter. And whatever Hickson thinks, you're really a very nice woman.
Oh, now look here.
Mel, I don't like this.
Hickson.
Yes?
Come out here.
Well? What is it?
Just how far do you want to carry a gag?
A gag?
Either you apologize to my wife...
Apologize for what?
Really, Mr. Baxter, I don't know what you're talking about.
Mel, let's leave.
You're not going to leave me, are you, Mrs. Baxter? Please don't.
Oh, you're a very funny guy, Hickson.
Take me with you, Mr. Baxter. I just want to be near her. If you're afraid I'll make love to her, you needn't worry. I will.
Okay, Hickson, you asked for it.
No, Mel. Don't hit him. Don't hit him. Oh, Mel. Mel, why did you do it?
Here now. Well, what's going on?
I don't know what's eating this guy. A gag's a gag, but he doesn't know when to stop.
He looks a bit done in.
Well, he had it coming to him. Glad he didn't break the dummy when he fell.
Yes, that would have been a shame. He's such a cute little fella.
Oh, and you do care what happens to me. I love you, Mrs. Baxter. I love you.
Feeling all right again, old chap?
Yes, quite. Thank you, Bigelow.
Oh, good night, then.
No, it's not good night. This is goodbye.
What's that?
Yes, the manager sacked us, Toby and me.
Oh, well, now that's a pity.
Go on, say it. You're quite sure we had it coming to us.
Well, you did go too far with the Baxters.
I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with what Toby said.
Oh,
It was
say.
Baxter. It was Baxter who put those words into Toby's mouth. He's trying to steal him from me.
Oh, now see here,
It took us 15 years to make the Kit Kat. And we had only 2 nights here. You just think what Toby and I have done together. We've fought our way to the very top. After years of cheap and dirty music halls. Starving. Out at the elbow. Oh, you know what it's like, Bigelow. Always trying to perfect the act. Toby's a partner anyone would want. And Baxter's no exception.
All right, old boy. Then you better take good care of Toby.
No, never fear. Oh, never fear. I shall. He's locked in my dressing room right now, and tonight and every other night we are going to sleep behind locked doors until Mel Baxter leaves London.
Who's there?
Baxter, I want to talk to you.
Mel, be careful. It's Hickson. And the door isn't locked.
Where is Toby?
Get out, Hickson.
I've come for Toby. Where is he? You've stolen Toby from me, and I've come to take him back.
I haven't seen your dummy since we were in your dressing room tonight.
You lie! You came and stole him from me whilst I was asleep.
Sure. I never travel without my burglar tools. Now listen, Hickson, I only knocked you down before, but this time I'm going to finish a job.
Mel!
I'll handle this my way, baby.
No, Mel, look. On the floor.
What?
On the floor at the foot of my bed.
Toby!
What? Oh, Claudia, how did...
Toby, there you are. I found you. Oh, my poor little Toby. He kidnapped you.
Now, look, Hickson, I haven't the slightest idea how your dummy got here.
Toby,
Mel,
speak
look
to
how
me.
he's shaking that awful thing.
Wake up, Toby.
He's trying to wake it up.
Oh, come now. You're not deceiving me. You know I'm here.
Go away and leave me alone. I'm through with you, Hickson.
I can't stand it, Mel.
Easy, baby. Now, look here, Hickson. Maybe you're ill or mad or something.
Ill? You took Toby away from me, and you say I'm ill?
I didn't take him. You brought him here. You must have. Maybe while you were walking in your sleep.
Mel, he's got a gun.
He won't shoot.
Come with me, Toby. We're going home again.
No, Hickson, I won't go with you. I'm going to stay here forever.
What? This is some trick. Baxter, you've influenced him against me. You're putting words into his mouth.
Oh, look, Hickson, will you relax? I tell you I had nothing to do with this. I couldn't have.
Nothing to do with it. You're a devil, Baxter. You tried to steal Toby away from me, and now you're trying to drive me mad.
Hickson, will you listen to reason?
No! No, I won't listen to reason. I won't. Oh, you beastly man. Toby,
Pick up this gun before he hits somebody with it, baby.
You
I've
don't.
got it, Mel.
Say it's not
Now,
true.
stay where you are, Hickson.
What? Oh, no. Oh, no, I'll do nothing of the sort. You're insane.
Hickson, you're the one who's sick. I'm trying to help you.
Help me! You're trying to take Toby away from me.
Look, will you let me get a doctor for
No! You fool! You'll never get Toby away from me.
I'll take him where you'll never see him again. Never!
Hickson! Claudia, that man's desperately ill. We've got to get a doctor. I suppose we should have called the cops, Doctor, but, well, Hickson's in the profession, and if he's sick, we'd rather have a doctor look after him.
I appreciate your sentiments, Mr. Baxter.
What's made him act this way? What's wrong with him?
Well, I can't give an opinion without seeing him, without talking with him. But perhaps your husband may have some idea.
Me?
You're a ventriloquist, Mr. Baxter, but a more successful one than Hickson. And, too, you're happily married. Less introspective, perhaps. Isn't it quite possible that Hickson, in his loneliness, his struggles for success, may have become so accustomed to thinking as two people that the personalities have actually become divided?
Why, I don't know. Yeah, I can see how that might happen.
You mean he thinks he's two people?
No, Mrs. Baxter, he doesn't think he's two people. It's possible he doesn't know these personalities have become divided. That Toby now might be said to live within Hickson without Hickson's knowing, and...
Then what's going to happen to him?
Well, it's something he'll have to fight out within himself. If we can keep the dummy away from him, he may recover.
Oh, but Doctor, he took it with him.
And we've no time to lose. Where does he live? Have you any idea?
No, but I can find out.
Well, then we'd better go at once. He must be separated from that dummy.
Oh, here you are, Hickson, right back where you started.
Be quiet, you fool. Be quiet.
You can't keep me quiet. You never could. Where would you have been if I'd kept quiet?
How can you be so ungrateful? I made you what you are.
You made me. Until I came along, you were very small time, Hickson. Very small time.
You've forgotten that you're nothing but a lifeless, useless stick of wood without me.
A lifeless, useless stick of wood, am I? It was I she liked, not you. It was I Mrs. Baxter spoke kindly to. It was I she smiled at, not you.
But you wouldn't even be here without me.
A lifeless, useless stick of wood. You couldn't even get up the nerve to kill Baxter tonight.
Kill him? Yeah. Yes, that's it. You wanted me to kill him.
Why didn't you kill him? Then she could have belonged to me. I could be with her forever.
Oh, you fool. You know that's impossible.
You're just saying that. You're jealous. Jealous. Jealous.
Toby, please. Don't say these things.
It's the truth. You're a weakling, a coward.
Toby, I beg you.
You mean nothing to me anymore, Hickson. You're weak.
No, I'm not. You monster. Oh, more than the mind can bear. I can't stand it. I've got to get rid of you. I'll kill you. I'll destroy you.
Hickson, take your hands off me. I'm through with you. Take your hands off me.
No, I'll kill you. You vulgar little beast.
Hickson, stop.
Die, you monster. Raise your head. Filthy piece of wood. No. Now, talk back. You little monster. You'll die, you hear? Now tell me I'm weak.
You can't kill me, Hickson. No matter how you try, you can't kill me. You're still a failure.
I'll show you who's a failure! Toby. Toby. What have I done? Toby, I never meant to. Answer me, Toby.
Hickson, are you in there?
Don't wait, Mel. Try the door. Oh, there we are.
I'll go first. Okay. There he is, Doctor.
Mel, we're too late.
Now, easy now. Perhaps he's only fainted.
Doctor, look, the dummy.
Smashed to bits.
I can't believe it's real.
Easy, honey, take it easy. Hickson's breathing. He's just out for a minute.
Oh, Mel. What'll happen when he comes to? And he realizes what he's done to Toby.
Oh, how are you, Hickson? Steady now. You're coming around all right.
You see, honey, he's all right. He's opening his eyes.
No, don't try to sit up, Hickson. No. Just lie back and be still for a moment.
He's looking for Toby.
Yeah, when he sees him.
No, don't try to sit up, Hickson. Your dummy's a bit cracked up, but I guess he can be fixed.
Fixed, eh? He said he'd kill me. But I told him he couldn't.
Mel.
Doctor, it's Hickson speaking in Toby's voice.
He said he'd kill me. As if he could, Mr. Baxter.
Doctor, what about Hickson? Hickson himself.
I've never seen anything like this. Oh, Hickson, speak up, man. Quick, Baxter, put that dummy together again.
Well, he's pretty badly smashed.
I don't care. Hold him together if you have to.
I'll do what I can.
What good will it do, Doctor?
It's our one chance to help this man.
See, Hickson? Here's Toby. You see, he's all right. Here he is.
Hickson won't appreciate what you're doing, Mr. Baxter. Now you're giving me...
Back to him. He thought you were trying to steal me away from him.
Mr. Hickson.
Hmm? Oh. Yeah, it's you, Mrs. Baxter. Toby, what's happened to you?
Oh, you and Toby both had a little accident, Mr. Hickson.
Baxter!
Mr. Baxter had nothing to do with it. He and Mrs. Baxter are your friends. They were worried about you. They called me. I'm a doctor.
Oh, I see. I'm very grateful. Thank you. Thank you awfully.
Well, we told the doctor how Toby'd been acting up this evening.
Oh, yes. And now I remember. Yes, you were a very bad boy, Toby. You said so many things that I didn't put into your mouth. You can't go on like this, you know. If the act's to succeed, you ruined us tonight, Toby. It's going to be a long, hard fight to get back.
I'm not really angry with you, Hickson.
I'm glad. We are dependent on each other, Toby. You know that. Promise me you'll behave from now on. Promise you won't say anything I don't put into your mouth.
I promise. But still, I can have my own ideas.
Tonight's voyage of escape into the realms that lie between the credible and the incredible has ended. But we hasten to invite you to voyage with us at the same time next week, when we will bring you the strange adventure of a man who searched the Brazilian jungles for a diamond as big as the Ritz. Your ticket for the voyage is merely your desire to join all hands aboard when CBS again presents Escape. Dead of Night was adapted by the CBS Division of Program Writing from the Universal Motion Picture. Barry Kroger appeared as Eric Hickson, Art Carney as Toby the Dummy. Escape is a CBS feature production directed by John Mosman. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Escape. It's time to escape into the world of adventure. Time to forget for the next half hour the four walls of today and escape beyond the horizons of the mind to yesterday and tomorrow. CBS and its affiliated stations present Escape. Tonight, we escape with Rudyard Kipling and the two gentle scoundrels he created in his immortal story, The Man Who Would Be King. The time, sometime before yesterday. The place, the north of India. The man who tells the story, Rudyard Kipling.
One Saturday night, it was my unpleasant duty to put the paper to bed alone. It was a pitchy black night, as stifling as night can be in India in June. It was very still, save for the ticking of the clock above my desk, which seemed to shatter the black heat of the night as the hands crept toward 3 a.m. And then from the passage outside my door,
Hey, Peachy.
I heard voices.
Your light burning. And he must be here. Open the door.
Who's there?
Only us.
Who are you?
He don't remember us, Dan.
That he don't.
How could he forget having us turned back at the Jodhpur border? Told the authorities we was impersonating newspaper reporters, he did.
Wait. That flaming red beard and that bald head. Why, you're Daniel Dravett and Peachy Carnahan.
The same.
Well, what do you want? If it's money, I haven't any. If it's a fight, it's simply too beastly hot.
You can rest yourself easy, sir, because we've come asking for naught except some information.
We've been all over this country, and we've concluded that India isn't big enough for such as Daniel and me.
So we're going away to be kings.
Kings in our own divine right.
What?
Aye, we shall be kings.
We've signed a solemn contract, each to help the other, and neither of us to take a look at liquor or women until we become kings.
Why, I've never heard of such a fantastic idea. But what is it you want of me?
Naught but to look at such maps of Kafiristan as you might have about.
Maps of Kafiristan?
That's where we've decided to go.
But don't you realize that not one single Englishman has ever gone into the Kafiristan mountains and lived to come out again? If you're really mad enough to go there, you're a good deal more likely to become dead men than kings.
We shall see.
Anyway, I don't believe you have the slightest intention of traveling a mile outside of Delhi.
Then you should come down to the Serai marketplace in the morning, down where the caravans leave for the north.
Yes, come down to the Serai in the morning and see then if we be liars. Oh, thieves, robbers, liars, the blessing of Pir Khan upon all pigs, dogs, and perjurers. Who will take the protection of heaven?
You should not laugh at him, Sahib. The witless are under the protection of Allah.
Quite so, boy. Who is the fellow anyway?
A mad priest, Sahib, who has arrived only this morning from Ajmer.
Yes, Sahib. Come to look at my camels, loaded with toys to please the eye of an Amir.
Oh, here now. Go about your business. I haven't any use for toys.
These are wondrous toys indeed, Sahib. Fit for a king of Kafiristan.
What? Good Lord. Daniel Dravett.
Quiet. Come along. I've 2 camels just beyond the wall here. The blessings of Pir Khan on the gracious Sahib, who consents to look at the poor toys of a priest from Ajmer. Over this way.
Where's Carnahan?
Here we are. Permit me to present my servant, Hazir Mir Khan.
At your service, Goodman.
Well, I'll be...
Do you like our disguises? Do they pass?
If they fool this crowd in the Serai, they're probably good enough to get you across the border and good enough to get you killed.
Getting killed is no part of the contract Peachy and me drawed up, although perhaps killing fits in with our plans in a different sense. Feel around underneath the toys there in the camel bags.
What?
Go ahead.
Good Lord. Rifles.
20 brand new martinis with ammunition to match.
And 20 good reasons to make your death certain. Any Pathan of the hill tribes would kill his own mother to get a rifle.
Now who would harm a poor mad priest, Sahib? Allah protects me.
Mad is right.
Then so was Lord Clive and Rhodes and Bonaparte. Drive out the camels, Peachy. We've a long way to go before we become kings. Oh, hey, up!
As I stood and listened to the camel bells fade away in the distance, I wondered if it might not be a glorious thing to go to Kafiristan and be a king. Three years pass in India, much as they pass in any other land. It grows hot, then the rains come, and then the heat again. Some colonel at a hill station puts down an uprising. A new viceroy comes out from London, and the paper duly records the death of a sultan in Rajputana, and the trees in the courtyard grow a few feet taller. Finally, time in its circle turned up another night, much like the one 3 years before. Once again, I sat alone in the office, listening to the clock and waiting for some unimportant item to come over the wire from Europe. It was long after midnight when my office door slowly opened. I say, look here, you might knock first, you know.
Knock.
Good Lord, man. What's wrong?
You don't know who I am, do you?
No. No, I haven't the faintest idea. But here, you'd better sit down, old fellow. You're in a bad way.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's a whole year I've been walking. Right here in this very office we settled it. You sitting right there and giving us the maps. You've been sitting there ever since. 3 years.
No. Oh, no. Why, a man couldn't change that much in 3 years. You're not Peachy Carnahan.
Yes. I was king of Kafiristan. Me and Daniel Dravit. Real crown kings we was. Just as true as gospel.
What in the name of heaven have they done to you, Peachy?
Peachy? I knew Peachy Carnahan once. He's a king. Wears a real golden crown on his head, so help me, he does. He's dead now, though.
No. You're Peachy Carnahan. You must pull yourself together, man.
Yes. Pull myself. You got to keep looking into my eyes. Then maybe everything won't go to pieces.
All right. Now, tell me what happened, Peachy.
We left the caravan at Jagdala. We struck off into the hills alone.
Go on.
Weeks it was we traveled, Daniel and me. First there wasn't no roads, and after a while, no food. But there was always the drums. Sometimes they was close, and sometimes farther off. But most of the time we could hear them somewhere.
Oi, up! Move along, up! Here now, it's no place to be stopping. Up with you.
I'm fearing it's no use, Daniel.
What's got into them?
The poor beasts are done in and starved, same as ourselves. They'll go no further.
Then we'll go on without them. I've not come this far to die on the side of a mountain.
Wait. Look, Daniel. Over the edge of the rocks.
What? Oh, men they are.
There'll be a score or more of them. One goes ahead of the rest.
And naught but bows and arrows. Break out a pair of the rifles, Peachy.
Right you are, Daniel.
It's now that we start to become kings.
Here, and some cartridges, too.
Easy now, Peachy. I'll drop the straggler at the rear first, and then we'll lay a few at their feet. No harm to the one in front. We may need him. Now. Got him by the old neck! Lay on, Peachy!
Hold it, Daniel! Look at them!
Aye, flat on their blooming faces.
The leader is come out alone.
Well and good, and we'll go part way to meet him, Peachy, but keep your rifle by.
Look at him, Daniel. He be as fair as us, with yellow hair.
So he does. Part of the lost tribes, these people are.
He stopped.
I await your command, O ye who speak in the voice of thunder.
Oh, the Lord Harry. Peachy, we're in luck. It's the old Afghan tongue he speaks. Speak up! Who are you, and whence do you come?
I am High Priest and the chief of the village of Bashkai. A journey of only a few heartbeats.
This Bashkai, how many people?
They are numbered in the 1,000.
There are more villages in the hills?
More than a man has fingers and toes.
Hear that, Peachy? Here's our kingdom made to order. And you're going to take us to Bashkai. Do you understand?
I understand the voice of thunder that you speak.
Oh, he's a smooth one, Peachy. He knows a thing or two. What's your name?
Mazur Khan Jagdalur.
That's too long. What shall we call him, Peachy?
He has a look about him of an old soldiering friend of ours, Billy Fish.
So he does. We bestow a new name on you. From now on, you will be Billy Fish.
As you command, I obey.
All right. Put this on your drums. Tell them 2 kings have come out from the mountaintops. 2 kings that speak in words of thunder so the earth trembles. Tell them 2 kings have come to Kafiristan. That you, Peachy?
Daniel, why be you sitting here in the dark?
I've been thinking. A man has to stop and think sometimes.
About anything special, Daniel?
Look at 'em, Peachy. Look at their blinking campfires a-gleaming in the dark like the jewels in a crown.
Aye, Daniel. You've done a fine job for sure. All 23 villages you joined together as one.
'Tis the army you trained to be thanked for it. 2,000 men with a fair knowledge of bearing arms.
Some's a bit green at it yet.
They're ours now, every man, jack, woman, and child. We own 'em, body and soul.
Aye, we're kings now, Daniel. Not proper kings yet, but we will be.
Sooner than you think, Peachy.
How's that?
Billy Fish told me something today that fair amazed me. These people know the craft.
You mean they're Freemasons, Daniel? It ain't no wise possible.
So help me, it's gospel true. He give me the grip and everything. It's old, the craft is, older than the memory of man. And up here in the hills, they've been preserving it all these years. Why, some of the high priests know up through the fellow craft, but they don't know the 3rd degree. See it, Peachy? They don't know the 3rd degree, but we do.
Daniel, what is it you're fixing to do?
We're going to be proper kings. We're going to get 'em going and coming now. I'm going to turn the whole country into one grand lodge, raise some of the priests to 3rd degree, and for me, I'll be the Grand Master of Kafiristan.
Oh, but you ain't got the right to. We never been officers in no lodge.
Right? What's a king got to do with asking for a right?
Oh, I'm against it, Daniel. It's no good to go fooling around with the craft.
Ah, you talk like an old woman. The thing'll work, I know it will. We'll make it a blooming ceremony. Regular aprons with the symbol and the marks. All of us, Peachy. The kings of Kafiristan.
Everything is prepared, Master. And the priests and the people wait.
Well, they don't have to wait much longer, Billy. Here now, Peachy. How do you like my apron?
It's a wondrous sight for fair, Daniel.
Made of white ermine skin it is, and the master's mark with emeralds studded.
The mark? You know the meaning of the mark?
That I do. What's got into you, Billy?
Not. But 'tis a thing that's passing strange, Master.
Strange and rubbish. Come along now. Ready, Peachy?
Right with you, Daniel.
Then out we go. Onto the temple steps. We'll give 'em what for. Knock their blinking eyes out. That's what we'll do. Look at 'em, Peachy! Right down on their blooming knees and yelling their full heads off.
Oh, it's a good thing to be a king, Daniel.
The mark! Behold! The mark!
Tis a sign.
The promised ones have come.
Here now. What's wrong with the priest, Billy?
It looks like trouble, Daniel.
No. Stand where you are, Master. They recognize the mark.
That great stone in the floor. Why do they turn it over?
Wait.
It's the same!
He bears the mark.
The promised ones have come.
Speak up, Billy Fish. What's the meaning of it?
See for yourself. Look.
Daniel, carved on the back of the stone.
'Tis the master's mark, all right.
And the same as the sign you wear. Only a few of the priests have known of the hidden mark on the stone.
What does it mean?
The many who have doubted you were a god doubt no longer.
And you, Billy? What do you think?
I, master? I think that now it is the time for these.
Daniel, golden crowns.
Aye, how they glitter. Fit for the brow of a king.
'Tis what we came for.
Here now, put 'em on. We'll crown ourselves in our own right. Listen to 'em. You know something, Peachy? We come here to be kings, and that we are, all right. But blamed if we ain't a couple of blooming gods to boot, with 1 million people bowing on their knees before us.
Well enough, Peachy. So it was gods you became as well as kings. But then, what happened? What became of Daniel Dravot?
Dravot? I knew Daniel Dravot once. He's a king now, Daniel is. Wears a golden crown. Canaan was with him.
Peachy, try to pull yourself together.
I'll try.
Now, you became kings, you and Daniel. Kings of all Kafiristan.
He was a fine figure, Daniel was, with his red head wearing that golden crown. Kept himself aloof from the people, so to speak. And when he walked afore the temple, the fair crawled on their stomachs to worship him.
But what happened, man?
Happened? Well, I figure mostly it was winter coming on. The winds were starting up, and the clouds was blowing down from the north. Oh, it could blow beastly cold, that winter wind.
Hey? Who's out there? That you, Billy? Confound it anyway. Here now. What's this?
I have brought you food, master. Stew of the wild sheep with curry and rice.
Up off your knees, girl. Bring it inside.
Thank you, master.
Place it there. Now, you're a well-favored wench.
I do not understand.
Why were you crawling on your knees?
'Tis a fitting way to approach the god of Kafiristan.
What's your name, girl?
Maruma Penja.
Marum, eh? You married?
It has not yet been my happy fortune, master.
Are you afraid of me?
You are a god.
I mean, how do I seem to you? Do you find me pleasing or what?
Your face is more wondrous than the noonday sun. And your look, the look of eagles.
Very well, you may leave now.
Thank you, master.
Marum, eh? Peachy! Peachy!
Is you calling me, Daniel? Oh, the food's here, eh? Good.
Knock that wind outside. Winter's about due to strike and fill the trails with snow. There'll be little moving about afore spring.
Right you are.
Peachy, I've decided to take a wife.
But you can't do it, Daniel. We made a contract.
That was till we was kings. Well, kings we've been many months now.
Oh, but it's no good. I tell you now, I'm against it.
Against it? You was against using the craft, too. But look what it done for us.
Oh, but this is different. Billy Fish will tell you no, too, the same as I do.
Billy Fish, huh? Who's the king here, him or me? My mind's made up. 3 days from now, I shall have me a wife. And you can put it on the drums and tell every blighter out there in the hills. The kingdom of Kafiristan is going to have a queen.
What's keeping her, Peachy? They should have brought her in here half an hour ago.
I don't know, Daniel.
How about you, Billy Fish? You put 'em up to stalling off deliberate like?
Certain preparations must be made, Master.
She's across the court with some of the priests. Maybe they're trying to hearten her up a bit, Daniel. She thinks she's going to die, you know.
Die, indeed. Why, I'm only...
Master, it is against the laws of heaven for a woman to marry a god.
I'm not a god. I'm a man. You know that by now, Billy.
No, and I should not want to think so, Master. But either way, this can mean only trouble. I beg you to reconsider.
And I beg you to shut up, Billy. I'm through waiting. I'm going over there.
Master, please.
We got to go with him, Billy. And I'm thinking it's going to mean trouble. How many men can you depend on?
No more than 20 with rifles. Most of my men are in Bashkai.
Then what shall we do?
We shall have to make a run for it, I fear. We might be safe in Bashkai.
Come on now, you buckling fools. Bring out the girl. Well, now, that's better. Here, girl, this is no way for a bride to behave. A smile now, and give us a kiss. Oh! The wench has bitten me.
Bloodmaster, don't let them see the blood.
Look! See the blood! He's not a god or a devil, but only a man!
Here, blasted, what is this, rot?
It is too late.
Mark, Daniel, they're coming with knives.
They can't do this. I'm the king.
We've got to run for it, Master.
Oh, come on, Daniel, come on.
I'll come back and beat their blasted heads in. That's what I'll do.
Oh, Daniel, we'll be back all right.
How much further, Billy?
Only a short way beyond this ridge, Master.
Well, so far, so good. At last, them blooming drums are stopped.
We're at the top, Daniel.
A right good climb it's been.
Oh, wait. Look. Seems the drums have come before us, Master.
Cut off. No less than 1,000 of them standing there quiet-like, with them wicked long knives in their hands.
There'll be no getting past them, Daniel.
No. We are done for. Go back, Billy Fish, and take your men away with you. Go with him, Peachy. It's me they want. I did it. Me, the king.
No, Dan. I'm sticking with you. Billy Fish, you clear out.
I am your friend. I stay with you.
You're a good man, Billy.
They be coming now, Daniel.
Peachy.
Forget it, Daniel. I forgive you freely and fully.
Then let them come. There'll be one thing they can't change, Peachy. We've been kings. Kings in our own right. Kings of all Kafiristan.
Sliced open poor Billy Fish like a bloomin' herring, they did. There in the snow and the rocks.
Good Lord, man. But you, Peachy, you got away from them.
Like nowhere did I get away from them. They had us for fair, all right. Strung me out on a tree. Drove nails right through my hands, they did. See? But I fooled them all right. 'Cause morning came, I wasn't nowise dead. And then I made them think I'd lost my senses. They was afraid to harm me because I was protected by Allah. They cut me down then, and after a while, they let me go.
You poor devil. But what of Drabbit? What happened to Daniel?
Daniel's the king. He wears a golden crown.
But now, what happened to him?
He's never left me. All them long months walking on the road back, he kept me safe. The mountains, they danced at night. But Daniel held up his hands and Peachy came along, bent double. I never let go of Daniel's hand, nor Daniel's head that they gave me in the temple as a present. Is with me now, here, in this bundle. You knew old Daniel, sir. Him that was a monarch once. Look at him now. Well, and now you've seen that we was really kings. I'll be on my way. You'll pardon me, sir?
I let him go. There was little else to do. He was only hours away from his death. I sat there and stared at the bundle he had left lying on my desk, stared as the pale shafts of dawn struck fire in the red beard, stared at the golden crown, sitting too large and heavy upon the wrinkled, mummified head of Daniel Dravot, the man who would be king.
Escape is produced and directed by William N. Robeson. Tonight's story, Rudyard Kipling's The Man Who Would Be King, was adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield and featured Raymond Lawrence as Peachy, Eric Snowden as Daniel Dravot, and Herbert Rawlinson as Kipling. Musical effects were created and conducted by Cy Fewer. Next week, CBS and its affiliated stations invite you to escape in Operation Fleur-de-Lis, an episode from the files of the OSS. And so, good night, until a week from tonight, when again we invite you to escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Escape. Escape tonight to occupied France and the underground.
The Columbia Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations presents Escape, a new series of programs of which this, the second, is Operation Fleur-de-Lis, written and directed by William N. Robeson. Today, the 14th of July, the people of a free France celebrate the anniversary of their escape from the tyranny of the kings of Versailles. 158 years ago today, the people of Paris stormed the Bastille and let loose the French Revolution. The torch of liberty set afire that day never burned more fiercely than during the years when France was occupied by the Nazis. We escape tonight to occupied France, from which 3 years ago there was no escape.
You can call me Duke, but don't use my right name. I might want to go back to France someday. And there are a lot of people in the world that wouldn't understand that what I did was justified in a war. No, I don't have any regrets. Moral ones, that is. It isn't what I did to Renee that keeps me awake at nights. It's just the memory of her. There isn't much about her in my official report on Operation Fleur-de-Lis, but then it isn't customary to include descriptions of slim, sunburned legs and wide, deep brown eyes in a military document. And anyway, she was only an incident in the operation, even if she became somewhat more important to me. Operation Fleur-de-Lis began, like all the others, in the grubby, undistinguished house in London, which was the headquarters of the OSS, the Office of Strategic Services, otherwise known in various parts of the world as screwballs, cutthroats, spies, cloak and dagger boys, and American underground agents.
Gentlemen, Operation Fleur-de-Lis is planned to assist the advance of our forces once they've secured a beachhead in Normandy.
Is that where we're going in, Major?
That is one of the possibilities, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir.
You will jump over Grandmont in northern France, here on the map. You have to set up roadblocks on these 3 state highways. Here, here, and here.
There is an underground contact near Grandma's?
Yes, Alcine Duton. He's leader of the local Maquis. He's expecting him. In addition, you're to block these railroad lines entering and leaving Grandmont. These operations are to coincide with the advance of our ground forces.
If they land in Normandy.
If they land in Normandy. You will emplane tonight at 2100 hours and will drop over your objective at, I should think, approximately 2230. Any questions?
No, I don't think so, sir.
Well, yes, sir, I have a question.
Yes, Lieutenant?
How many of us are going on this mission?
Just the 2 of you.
Just the 2 of us. And all we had to do was organize an underground army, disrupt the supply lines of a half a dozen Nazi divisions, and give support to the entire Allied invasion. Just the 2 of us. But that's the way the OSS worked. And nobody ordered Hill and me into it. We'd volunteered. I don't know why. Maybe for moments like this one, when you get a B-24 assigned to you as a personal taxi, and there's lots of room to sprawl around after the Bombay.
How do you feel?
Fine.
Scared?
Of course I'm scared, aren't you?
Me? No, this is a walk. You forget how tough it was when we were at paratroop school at Benning.
Yeah, that was real rugged.
If the wind wasn't right, you might land in the Chattahoochee and get all wet.
And there was always the chance that you'd sprain your ankle coming down too hard.
And the sun was so bright on some of those daylight jumps.
Whereas we got none of those things to worry about here. A nice pitch-black night over France, no sun to blind us, no Chattahoochee River to fall into.
Hey, Lieutenant.
Yes, Sergeant.
Skipper wants to talk to you on the intercom.
Thanks.
Here, use my cans.
Thank you. Duke here.
Lieutenant, I'm over your objective.
Any signal from the ground?
Yes, the one arranged. 4 dots, 2 dashes. Green.
Very well.
You and Lieutenant Hill move into the Bombay catwalk. I'll open Bombay doors in 30 seconds.
Roger.
Good luck.
Thanks. Sergeant, stand by to dump those supplies as soon as we're clear.
Yes, sir.
Come on, Ed. This, as someone has said, is it.
So soon? Just as I was settling down to a good book.
Bombay doors are opening, sir.
Okay, Sergeant. All right, Ed, let's check your harness.
It's a frightful mess. I just can't seem to do a thing with it.
I know, but this is the last party you'll have to wear it on. Okay. How am I?
Well, don't look now, but your chute's showing.
Tuck it in. Let's get out on that catwalk.
Why, what a refreshing breeze!
And all of France at our feet.
You see the signal?
That's what I'm looking for. There it is. Over to the left. You got it?
Got it.
Let's go! You kid. Sure you kid. It helps. But for those 10 seconds while you fall free, nothing helps. You hang on to the ripcord and you count off the seconds and you try not to count too fast. Your hand on that ripcord is the only certain thing in the world as you tumble head over teacups with a wind tearing sound from your ears. And there's only one thought, always the same thought, whether it's your first or your 50th jump. Will the chute open? It does. Yanking at your armpits, knocking the breath out of you, slowing you down, and you swing there like a rag doll trying to get your bearings. First, you make out the horizon. That's where the black becomes darker black, where the stars stop. And you wonder about Ed, but you can't risk calling out. And now that you're located where the stars aren't, you look for the signal light, and there it is, slightly to the left. So you tug at your shroud lines, spilling a little air to guide you toward it. And it's coming toward you awfully fast. And you hope this particular French patriot has picked out a field free of trees and church steeples. And then you try to remember all the things they taught you about hitting the ground and rolling with the wind and collapsing your chute. Because it's always like this. You always feel like you've never hit the silk before. And then you're down, and you roll just right, and you collapse your chute, and it's second nature to you after all. And then you hear footsteps running towards you. And you remember another important instruction. You whip out your automatic, and you hope your French is good enough to get you by. Qui va? Who is it?
Alcine here.
Fleur.
Delis.
Okay, Alcine, come on.
At last you have arrived, Lieutenant.
So it seems.
You have no idea how long we've wished for this moment.
Hold it. That's my partner. Come on. Hey, Ed. Ed.
Over here, Duke.
You okay?
My empennage is slightly damaged, otherwise okay.
This is Alcine, our contact. Alcine, Lieutenant Hill.
Hello, Alcine.
Lieutenant, it is a great pleasure to make your acquaintance. And on behalf of my countrymen...
Yeah, well, let's get these chutes buried and blow this place. Where's your transportation, Alcine?
We haven't any.
What?
Where's the safe house?
You might be able to stay at my aunt's. I don't think she'd talk.
You don't think, aren't you sure?
Oh, yes, I'm supremely confident that
Where are the Germans?
They're everywhere. And that is why I'm so glad you're here. Now we can fight again. With your help, we will kill many Boche.
Oh, wait a minute. How many are there in your Maquis?
Myself and 2 others.
Just 3 of you?
Oh, my aching back.
But now that the Americans are here, we can do anything.
Oh, why don't they get these things straight in London? How can we block roads with a 3-man Maquis?
3 men and an aunt who perhaps will not talk.
Well, let's get cracking.
Duke, you're not going through with this mad venture, are you?
What would you suggest?
Well, as for me, I'm all for taking the next plane back to London.
Another piece of bread, Lieutenant.
No, thank you, ma'am.
This boned chicken is delicious. How do you call it?
K-ration.
Supreme. We've had nothing like it since the Boche came.
Yeah, well, you get used to it.
And cigarettes, Tante Marie. Cigarettes made of real tobacco. Ah, you Americans have everything.
Madame, Alcine, you are kind, you are hospitable, but the comforts of K-ration will not block roads. We need men. We must form a Maquis.
But we have a Maquis.
Look, Alcine, there are 3 of you and 2 of us. Sure, we've got guns and we've got ammunition and supply chutes somewhere out in that field where we landed. We've got arms for 50 men. But if we had those men, we still couldn't go to war against a German division.
And you said yourself there's at least a division garrisoned in Grammont.
What must we do?
First, we must organize a Maquis. We need men. Can you get them?
I can go into the village and talk to my friends.
You should have done that a long time ago.
Alcine, that would be most unwise.
Why?
Didn't you know? Alcine is a patriot. He's a deserter from the Vichy army, so he's wanted by the Gestapo.
Oh, great. And there's a Gestapo headquarters in Grammont, of course.
Of course. Alcine is not one to run from danger.
Well, quite the contrary.
I can get Renee to help.
Who's Renee?
Alcine's sweetheart, a lovely girl from Paris. Poor thing, she had to come down to the country because her house was bombed out.
Let's leave her out of this.
But, Lieutenant, she would be most happy to help.
Alcine, you got a lot to learn about guerrilla warfare. You might as well study your first lesson right now. It's short and to the point. No dames. Well, the next day, we collected the supplies, which had been dropped with us, and we set up a camp deep in the woods. Hill and I were loaded with French money, so we were able to buy food from the friendly farmers. Maybe it was the food as much as patriotism that brought us recruits. Anyway, after a week, we had nearly 30 men. Our Maquis wasn't big enough for the job we had to do, but it was growing in the right direction. And then one night, as I was winding up a report to London...
Oh? What do they say?
What do they ever say? Message acknowledged. Carry on.
Well, what about new batteries for the radio? What about extra ammunition for the Buck Rogers guns? When are they going to get another drop to us?
Why don't you ask them?
Yeah, I know.
They do the best they can, I guess. After all, we're not the only Boy Scouts in this jamboree.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Duke.
Yeah?
There goes Alcine again, off toward the road.
What the... Hey, Alcine!
Yes?
Come here a minute.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Where are you going?
I was just taking a stroll.
You on night guard?
Not tonight.
You weren't on night guard last night, were you?
No, Lieutenant.
Or the night before?
No, sir.
But you weren't in camp all night, were you?
No, sir.
What's the matter? Don't you like the camp? Rather sleep at your aunt's? Is it too rugged out here for you?
No, sir.
Then where were you?
In the village.
You know the orders. No one is to go into the village.
Yes, Lieutenant, but I only go in at night.
That makes no difference.
But it does. You see, Lieutenant, I'm so in love.
Oh, great.
The girl from Paris?
Yes. You should see her, Lieutenant. She's the most beautiful, the most charming,
Don't you know you're endangering the whole Maquis by disobeying my orders?
Oh, no, sir. There's no danger with Renee. She hates the bush. Why, she wants to join us.
You've told her about us?
Oh, yes, sir.
Are you out of your mind? How do you know she's all right?
I just know that's all. She's the most wonderful person in the world. She's a real patriot.
I told you, rule number 1 is no dames.
Yes, but Renee is different.
Yeah. Well, you better marry her before you bring her around here, or you'll have to share her with the rest of these wolves.
Lieutenant, do I understand you?
Forget it, Alcine. It's just an American figure of speech.
May I tell Renee she can join us?
Well, not quite yet. Later, maybe.
Yes, Lieutenant. Is that all?
Yeah, that's all.
If you got to take it, Alcine, take it easy.
I do not understand.
Just another American idiom, Alcine. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Hey, Duke. You gonna let him get away with that?
Well, what are we going to do?
Slap him into the guardhouse for 30 days.
Only this isn't the American Army. We haven't any guardhouse.
Yeah, stinks from a security standpoint.
I know. If we try to keep these boys from sneaking off home every now and then, we're not going to have any Maquis.
These French. An immoral race.
I don't know about that. Remember Phoenix City, Alabama?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I see what you mean.
There wasn't anything we could do. If we'd ordered Alcine to stay in camp, he'd have sneaked off anyway. He had that dreamy, faraway look that's baffled parents, teachers, and first lieutenants since the beginning of time. I didn't worry too much about it because our Maquis was growing, and Ed Hill and I were breaking our backs pushing those French kids through an ersatz basic in 3 weeks. Headquarters in London didn't tell us much, but we did know from the BBC that the boys had landed at Omaha Beach, and it wouldn't be long before they'd be needing our roadblocks. And then one morning, about D+4, I think it was, I was out in the woods running a squad through concealment drill. No. Hit the dirt. Don't wait or you're dead. When you see the signal, hit the dirt right now.
Pardon me, Lieutenant.
Huh? Oh, Alcine. Where have you been all night as though I didn't know?
Lieutenant, I've got to talk to you.
Okay, I'll be through here in a half hour or so.
I've got to talk to you now.
Huh? All right, Alcine. Okay, boys, take 5. Come along, Alcine. What's on your mind?
Lieutenant, my family's been killed.
Oh, no.
Yes, by the Gestapo. They set fire to the house. My mother, my father, my 2 sisters. They ran out. The Gestapo shot them.
You're sure of this?
Yes, I heard it this morning from a neighbor who saw it happen.
You poor kid.
When can we attack, Lieutenant? When can we stop this endless training and fight the Boche? No, I want only to kill and kill and kill until I pay them back for my father, my mother, my 2 sisters.
Yeah, I know. You'll get your chance, Alcine, but not yet. We gotta wait. We're not ready yet.
I'm ready. Before I wanted to fight the Boche for my country. Now I want to kill him again and again. For them.
I know, but you gotta be patient.
This should happen to me now. Only last night when Renee said she'd marry me, come to live here with me in the camp. I was so happy. And this morning I learned this news.
When did you hear from your mother last?
Not for a month since we began to work, but I've written her every week.
You have? Who mailed the letters?
Renee mailed them for me. She's so kind and thoughtful. She offered to mail letters home for the other boys, too.
Oh, that was nice of her. Did they take advantage of her offer?
A couple of them.
Who?
Paul and Jean. I told them about it, and they wrote their families.
And Renee mailed the letters, huh?
Yes, she's a wonderful person, Lieutenant. You're going to love her.
Yeah, I think I am.
She's all I've got in the world now.
2 and 2 make 4 in occupied France, just the same as anywhere else. And sometimes it's just as hard to prove. But one thing was sure. Now I wanted to meet Renee in the worst way. But I had to postpone the pleasure because early that afternoon, one of the outposts broke into camp out of breath.
Lieutenant.
Yes, Paul.
The Boche. They're coming down the road through the forest.
How many?
I did not stop to count them. Several truckloads, to be sure.
Pass the word to Lieutenant Hill. Ask him to bring his detail into camp on the double.
Yes, Lieutenant.
Alcine.
Yes, sir?
Take 2 men and go down by the road and see what they're up to.
Yes, sir.
Just reconnoiter. Don't fire at them.
But this is my chance for revenge.
Listen to me. Don't fire at them. That's a command.
Yes, sir.
They may not be after us at all. Now get going.
Immediately, Lieutenant.
What's the order of the day, Duke? Plan scram?
Yeah, it looks like it. All your men here?
President accounted for.
All right, boys, now gather around, will you, and get this. There's a convoy of Germans coming down the forest road. Now, wait a minute. We're not going to fight them. You know what our job is, roadblocks. We got tanks, artillery, and airplanes that'll be along soon to do the killing.
But we have guns.
Now, look, our security's been pretty good. And those Krauts may be on a routine patrol. The chances are they don't even know we're here.
They do now. Listen.
Yeah, well, that doesn't. All right, you men got your weapons?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now, you know the procedure. Get lost. Before you leave the forest, bury your weapons, ammunition, and equipment. Rendezvous at the home of Alcine's aunt at 2200 hours tonight. Good luck. Come on, Ed, let's scram.
Well, he who doesn't fight and runs away lives to fight another day.
Or something like that.
Who tipped them off?
I'm not sure, but I got a pretty good idea.
Who's down there at the road?
Alcine, he's fighting a private war, the poor jerk. The basic rule of 3 in guerrilla warfare is surprise, kill, vanish. However, when you're surprised, the only rule is vanish, and we did. There were about 50 Germans and a half a dozen dogs to track our scent. They spent the day thrashing through the woods, firing into the underbrush, and finding nothing. It was a classic withdrawal, and Hill and I were proud of our little army, with the exception of Alcine, its self-appointed hero. When we arrived at his aunt's house that night for the rendezvous, a half a dozen of the boys were already there.
Who is it?
Fleur.
Julie. Ah, Lieutenant, come in.
Good evening, madame.
Alcine is already here. I'm so proud of him.
Ah, Lieutenant, I was just telling Tante Marie and the boys it was magnificent. I got 2 of them. I killed 2 Boche.
Your orders were not to shoot.
But, Lieutenant, what would you?
What happened to the other boys who were with you?
Jean was wounded and captured. Antoine became frightened and ran away.
That blows the Marquis. They'll get the full particulars from Jean.
They haven't got him already.
I'm sorry, Lieutenant, but...
Quiet. Answer it, madame.
Who is it?
Fleur.
Julie.
Open it.
Good evening, madame.
Come in, boys.
Run in any trouble, boys?
As you see, we are here.
Yeah.
But not for long. Lieutenant,
Yes,
Raoul
Paul?
and I wish to withdraw from the Marquis.
Quit? Why?
The risk is too great.
You afraid?
For myself, no. But after what happened to John.
He was wounded and captured. We all take that risk.
Yes, but last night the Gestapo got John's family. Like they did Alcine's. Stood them up in front of their house and shot them. Who knows who'll be next? My mother, Raoul's sister, Alcine's aunt. I wish to withdraw.
So do I.
All right, now, wait a minute. I don't blame you for being worried about your families. But whose families do you think the British and American armies up in Normandy are fighting to liberate? Their own? No, yours. Now, this thing isn't as bad as it looks. There's been a leak in our security. Somebody's been putting the finger on us, so we lay low until the leak's plugged.
But the Germans are everywhere. Spies, perhaps, too, are everywhere.
I think I know who's responsible for these murders. I'll make a deal with you. Give me a couple of days to work it out. We'll issue you boys some money, and all you've got to do is to get lost until Saturday night, and then meet me back here. If I haven't patched up our security by then, you can all quit the Marquis and become collaborators.
Oh, it is not that, Lieutenant.
No one wishes to collaborate.
But one must think of one's family.
Okay. Ed.
Yeah, Duke.
Give the boys 1,000 francs apiece.
Right. Come and get it, boy. Come on.
Alcine.
Yes, my lieutenant?
I'm going to have a little time on my hands for the next couple of days. Do you think you could arrange to introduce me to your girlfriend?
Oh, but of course, Lieutenant.
Maybe, if she's okay, like you say, we can let her sign up, huh?
I am desolated with happiness, Lieutenant.
One thing. None of that lieutenant business around her until I make sure she's all right.
Very well.
You think my French is good enough to pass as a native?
But of course, Lieutenant.
All right, then pass me off as a friend of yours. Let's see, I'll need a name. Let's call me Jacques Dufresne.
Jacques Dufresne. Good, I will make the arrangements immediately.
I thought you'd like an excuse to get into town tonight. The next afternoon, Alcine brought the girl out to the woods near his aunt's house. I stood behind a tree to watch and make sure they weren't being followed. She was all right. Tall, long, sunburned legs, her hair caught in a blue ribbon like a little girl's. I let them walk by, and then I stepped from behind my tree.
Oh, there you are, Jacques.
Hello, Alcine.
René, this is my good friend Jacques Dufresne. He's from Paris, too. Jacques, this is René de Cibourg.
Glad to meet you, mademoiselle.
And I'm honored to meet you, monsieur. Where do you live in Paris?
Near the Porte du Lilas, but my home is no longer there. It was bombed out.
Alas, so was mine.
My family remain with friends, but I've come out into the country to fight with the resistance.
Jacques has much influence with the commander of our Marquis.
Oh, I hope you will be able to persuade him to let me join you, monsieur.
I shall do what I can.
It would be a privilege and an honor to work with a patriot like you.
See, Jacques, I told you René was all right.
You didn't tell me the half of it. Mademoiselle, you understand that we must be cautious. There are questions I must ask of a confidential nature.
Why don't we meet again? Alone.
Why not?
Say, tonight? I have a little car. We might take a drive.
Fine.
But, René, you promised me
I can see you some other time, ma chère. Remember, France comes first.
We just drove that night. She was wearing a white ribbon in her hair and a loose white dress and no stockings. We just drove around in her little Citroën with the top down and the wind blowing her hair like a girl in a magazine ad. Then we came back about midnight and parked by the bridge. I felt like I was back in high school in Illinois.
Look at those stars, Jacques.
Yeah.
So many of them. So close you can almost reach out and touch them.
Yeah.
I had them all once, Jacques. I reached out and gathered them all in my arms once.
Yeah?
I want you to know all about me, Jacques.
I want to.
Don't think it's wrong of me. But I've been in love.
There's nothing wrong in being in love.
He was a soldier.
Most everybody is these days.
A German soldier.
Oh.
Don't you think that love is bigger than war or hate or anything?
Yeah, I guess so.
He's dead now.
That's good. I'm sorry. I mean, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm not sorry he's dead.
Jacques, I'm so confused. I want to understand things. I want to be intelligent about things. Then everything gets so mixed up. Like now.
Like now?
Yes. Jacques, I've never been so happy as I am tonight.
Not even with the German?
Not even with him. Why does it have to end? Why do those blessed stars have to go out one by one to make way for another day of war? Why can't we stop time, you and I, and gather all the stars together, just for us?
I don't know, baby. It's never been done before. But we can try.
Jacques.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night?
Same time, same place. Forever if you say the word.
Forever?
Sure, why not? Who knows how long forever is in this crazy world? Why not have it together? Why not get married?
Why not, my most beloved?
See you tomorrow night.
I'll only be half alive until then. Sherry, if you want to write to your family in Paris, give me the letter tomorrow night, and I'll mail it for you.
Oh, no.
All right, drop that rock and grab a sock. Rise and shine, lover boy. I brought you a cup of chocolate. Figured you want breakfast in bed this morning.
Oh, thanks.
How'd you make out last night?
Okay.
Details. Let's have the details.
Nothing much to report. We drove, and then we parked for a while and talked.
Did she give anything away?
No information. She's a funny kid. Her dialogue's as corny as a bobby soxer. She knows she's pretty, so she wants to be admired for her mind. But I'm sure she's our Matahari.
How come?
She offered to mail a letter to my family.
That's consistent.
I asked her to marry me.
What?
She didn't believe me, but she pretended like she did. Oh, I don't know why she's doing what she's doing. Thrills, maybe.
French juvenile delinquent, huh?
Maybe. Tonight's the night.
The night you get married?
No, the night we get her. The boys are meeting us here at midnight, you know.
What's the plan?
Well, I'll take another ride with her. And about midnight, we'll be back and parked by the bridge. You'll be there out of sight. I'll have some brandy along, and I'll slug her drink with a capture pill. When she's passed out, I'll give you the come on, and you join me. Here, baby, have another drink, huh?
I shouldn't, Jack. Brandy always makes me sleepy.
Well, what of it? This is a celebration of our engagement.
Oh, kiss me, Jack. Again and again.
Sure.
Jacques, the stars are nearer. Nearer than they've ever been.
Nearer than you think, baby.
I love you, Jacques. I do love you. Kiss me again. Do it again. And again.
Renee. Baby. Are you asleep? You collaborationist pig, can you hear me? Okay, Ed.
She out?
Like a red light in an air raid. Here's her purse. Start through it while I untangle myself, will you?
Now, take a look at this.
What is it?
A letter from Gestapo headquarters confirming receipt of 3 addresses.
Let me see that. Well, that one's Alcine's family, and that one's Jean's.
And here's a Gestapo identification card.
Flash your light over there. Look at her.
What a dish.
Look at that kisser. And she's responsible for the death of 6 people whose only crime was being born French. She'd have wrecked our marquee, snafu'd our mission, and turned me over to the Gestapo with her lipstick still on my collar. That gorgeous hunk of double cross. Well, we got the proof. Let's get on with it.
Okay. I guess you'd rather I...
No, this is my job.
Gee, she's gorgeous.
Yeah. So long, honey. Thanks.
She ain't so gorgeous now.
Release that handbrake.
Got it.
Come on, shove. Not yet. Keep that steering wheel straight. The river's deepest right at the center of the bridge. Yeah. Now, hard right on the wheel. You know something, Ed?
Huh?
I think she finally did gather that armful of stars. Sure, the operation was successful. When the time came, our roadblocks tied up 3 German divisions while Patton rolled on to the east. But I still lie awake at night thinking I should have married that dame. Yeah, the operation was successful, but the patient died.
Operation Fleur-de-Lis was written, directed, and produced by William N. Robeson with Jack Webb as Duke, Elliot Lewis as Hill, Peggy Weber as Renee, and Harry Bartell as Alcine. Operation Fleur-de-Lis was based on an incident from the files of the OSS, recorded in Sub Rosa by Stuart Alsop and Thomas Braden. The special musical score was conceived and conducted by Cy Feuer. Escape is presented by CBS and its affiliated stations each week at this time. Next week, we invite you to escape with F. Scott Fitzgerald in his unforgettable story, The Diamond as Big as the Ritz. And so, good night, until next week, when again it will be time to escape. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.